You're the worst. You're actually the worst.
All right, we're getting started here soon. We are getting started here soon. I am waiting for my guest. And let me just find this real quick. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Oh, wait, no, I need to turn it off. There we go. Yeah, let's turn off the sound. All right. Wait, no, now I can't see the comments.
No one has commented yet.
Why is nobody watching? All right.
This is embarrassing.
Good evening, once again, and welcome to yet another episode of 10 Minutes with Ronald, the show that nobody asked for, yet somebody is watching. I've changed my catchphrase. What do you think?
Cat.
Yes, my catchphrase. I've changed my catchphrase. All right, let me make sure we're good here.
And make sure the sound is off, right?
Make sure the sound is working. All right. Yeah, no, we should be good. Just keep playing, Lord. Everything's on and making noises. All right, we're not going to be able to see comments, but at least we'll see if we freeze. Was that the face you decided to make at that point? All right. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I am Ronald Young Jr., a.k.a. Ohitsbigron, and I am here with my friend, once again, Jessica Taylor.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about dating. This is the end of the dating trilogy. We spoke with Jessica 2 weeks ago. Lots of good feedback, positive feedback on that.
Many views.
Many views. Actually, the most views in 10 Minutes with Ronald history. What?
Nothing.
I can't see you. So, all right. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give some little bit of more information about the show. We're continuing to expand, continuing to test new markets, namely YouTube. I guess that's the only market I have, really. All right, I'm floundering here. So last week I talked with my good friend Michael Jefferson, aka Mass Potential, and we talked about dating from the man's perspective. Mm-hmm. And we had a good little conversation. I think our conversation was a little more agreeable with the viewers. I think we got a lot more arguments from the viewers. I got people reaching out to me saying, "I don't think that's right, Ron." So initially, what were your thoughts on mine and Michael Jefferson's conversation? Do you have any reflections or immediate feedback?
Number one, I think it was very well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do have some thoughts. Let me refer to my notes. Okay, so one of the first things that Michael said, which I 98% disagree with, is that if a girl goes out, she can immediately find anyone, like that night for whatever purpose. And I go out all the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not like seeking it or no one is interested, but I don't ever feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out tonight and like find someone to date, hook up with, whatever. Okay. I don't know if it's just because that's not my intention or that's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. So, or maybe I put off a vibe that people are like, makes me not approachable. I don't know. Maybe I'm not approachable.
So to clarify, I think what Michael Jefferson was saying, and I don't know if he's watching, and I can't necessarily speak for him, but to clarify, I think what he was referring to was the idea that it is easier, or better yet, the control is in, it feels like women have more control of the situation. And that being said, holding more of the cards, if you will. Whereas men are expected to go out and do the hunting, do the asking for the number and all that. As far as the control valve, it seems like women have more access to that, more control over that valve.
Maybe in initially meeting someone, like you know how we spoke 2 weeks ago about how the guy usually has to initiate the messages, initiate the conversation, and I said I feel bad for guys because of that. But I think that after the initial meeting, the guy definitely has the control.
Okay.
Because I think that the girls are generally waiting for the guy to respond to say how he feels, and they're like waiting to like for him to contact them, or the girls are more concerned about the rules than I think guys are.
I think the other part he was also saying was he also meant in terms of sex that if women want to go out, because it seems that guys would be eager and ready to do that.
Well, in sex maybe, but I don't do that because I'm a classy lady.
Good, and I don't, and I agree. You all, yes. So anyway, what other types of feedback did you have?
Okay. All right. So there was a discussion about compatibility. You were talking about chemistry / vibes, that kind of that like chemical connection or that spark, whatever you have when you meet someone, talk to someone, kiss someone, whatever it is. And then Michael was saying that he thought that compatibility was more important. And I kind of am wondering, is chemistry something that you think can be built over time, or is it only something that you feel automatically? And the reason I ask that is because if I'm only going to be with someone because I'm compatible with them, in a way, I feel like that's settling. Like, I feel like the chemistry is the thing that keeps you excited and keeps you, like, connected in a lot of ways. Compatibility is more like the frame, and I think that chemistry builds the structure, if that makes sense.
I think that chemistry comes from two people understanding each other, and because they understand each other, they understand what role they play in each other's lives, and they understand where they need to be in order to be supportive of the other person. I think that can be as simple as a conversation, saying that two people have the similar sense of humor, so you know what to say to keep the joke going. Like, if me and you started riffing right now, we could probably, like, go for, like, a couple of minutes before it, like, got stale. But I think that's part of it. So I do think chemistry can be developed, but I think a lot of people are looking for instant chemistry, and I think that's where they fall short. As far as what you were saying about compatibility, I really think when he says compatible, like, it sounds like it's just saying that's good enough. You know what I mean? Like,
that's how I perceived it.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with that. That it's like chemistry is something that you can build. Like, if you talk about basketball players and football players having chemistry, they're talking about teams that played together for a long time that build that type of chemistry. But as far as compatibility, I think that's just looking at somebody on paper and saying, like, well, they check all these
values,
boxes.
standards.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's interesting is when I'm feeling like a little hopeless or a little desperate related to my future, dating, whatever it may be in the romantic realm, I have said before, like, you know what, I'll be with someone simply because I'm compatible with them and they're a friend, and I don't even care about the chemistry thing. Like, I just want to have a companion. So in a way that's settling, but that also may be a security blanket for someone.
Do you think that you can build a successful relationship off someone that you are purely just compatible with?
It would be a different type of relationship, but yeah.
What type of relationship would that be?
Friends. I don't know. But that's why I was saying I think that chemistry is one of the things that makes you stay. Like, you can be with someone for a long time and then you can just feel like that flame kind of go out. And on the other hand, there are people that stay in crappy relationships because the chemistry is so good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I guess in order to have, like, whatever you consider your perfect or, you know, whatever ultimate relationship, then you would need to have both.
I think people also get in relationships with people they're compatible with, hoping that they'll build chemistry with them.
Right. So exactly, and that's why I was saying, like, do you think that chemistry is something that you can build over time? Because
Absolutely.
You made the point, like, instant chemistry, and I think that's one of the mistakes I make. Like, if I meet someone and I'm not like, oh, hello, I'm like, not the person for me. And that's where I need to, like, give things more of a chance.
Well, are you talking about several, are you kind of talking about something different there? So on one angle, we're talking about chemistry. And when we talk about chemistry, we mean in terms of rapport, being able to talk back and forth, have a conversation, all that stuff. But what you just did, you said you meet somebody, you're like, oh, hello. That's something different.
No, I think it's the same thing. It's a spark. It's like a flirtatious vibe. It's like when you look at someone and, like, you get some sort of feeling in your stomach, or like you're more intrigued. It's not just like I want to look at someone and know that, like, I feel something, as opposed to, like, let me feel this out.
So is that not the same as like what you're talking about? Isn't that attraction?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking like a test question.
Semantics. Jeez, wordsmith.
No, well, see, and the reason why I think it's important to bring it up because, like, I feel like you can have chemistry with someone you're not attracted to.
Okay, that's a really good point. I agree.
Yeah, so
it might surprise you though.
Yeah,
and people probably resist because they're like, that might not be the person that I would choose or be attracted to. But I feel some type of way.
Exactly.
Right.
I think the other thing is like when you get that type of fascination or you have that type of chemistry or rapport with someone, it can kind of preclude attractiveness. So you can actually just say that I found that doesn't nearly matter as much to me anyway, or I'm attracted to him or her in a different way.
Right.
So, what other reflections did you have?
I think the other reflection I had was kind of the idea, and I don't know if you phrased it exactly like this, but the idea that online dating / social media has kind of killed romance, or like ruined the concept of like truly like building a relationship. Because
hold on one second.
Yeah.
Maria, I can see your comments, so keep commenting. I can see everyone's comments.
I'll stop talking in one moment
Keep going.
to get some feedback.
Yeah.
Because I think that you go into online dating with the pretense that you're going to be connected with someone and that you're going to date them solely based upon your pictures, right?
Absolutely.
Because I think I have a pretty good profile. A lot of people just don't have profiles. And I generally will never swipe in the positive direction if they don't have anything written in their profile, because that just tells me like you have nothing to say. So I also think that it's, even though right now it might be the most convenient way, like it's incredibly superficial.
Absolutely. So recently you got rid of all your dating apps.
I did. So that was kind of a new development. I had coffee with a friend, Tammy. I don't know if you're watching.
What up, Tammy? Shout outs to Tammy.
And we were talking about, you know, we've stayed connected through the years and kind of just vented to each other about like being this age and being single and all of that stuff. And she was just like, you know what, maybe you're clearly burnt out from it. Like maybe you should just get rid of them. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should. Like I think that 50% of the reason I keep it is just for entertainment value, for boredom, whatever, for whatever reason. And I just like, I was sick of doing the first date thing. And so I said, maybe I'll just like let go of control for a little bit and just take a breather and see what happens.
Just kind of coast through life.
Correct. Haven't met anybody yet. You haven't reached for the same bag of bib lettuce as anyone at the grocery store, but...
I'm sorry, what is this? What is this reference?
I think, no, it's not. It's a personal reference, but I think that people... I was being specific because I really like bib lettuce.
Oh, okay.
So I reached for that.
So it's going to be like,
oh. Right, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. You wanted to talk about chivalry as well.
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get some feedback.
Yeah, let's get some feedback.
Yes.
No, I went ghost on my apps.
She went ghost on her apps. Well played, sir. Let's see. Maria said a girl can always find someone. I agree that isn't true in my perspective. You are married. You are with someone, but we can expound on that later. All right, so no real comments yet. I don't know why my sister's not watching.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maria said, I think some folks look too hard for the perfect guy when what I recommend is date around a lot more.
Okay. I've been dating around, and I don't know if there's a limit, and that's part of the thing. It's like, maybe I do need to let go of control, because I'm like, oh, I've been on X amount of dates this week or X amount of dates this month, and it's like, it was just driving me nuts, and it's like a huge confidence killer. And I think that for me, like, and I spoke a little bit about this last time, like, I've been on like a huge journey over the past year, and like, I don't want to participate in anything that doesn't give me positive vibes. Yeah. And lately, I just hadn't been feeling that, and so I just had to let it go. And my weight's been a little lighter since.
I feel like when I've been dating, I feel like sometimes I want so badly for something to work that I will put more effort into something that has not earned or does not require that amount of effort, only to still be disappointed. Right. And I feel like that's why I don't use dating apps anymore. Because I felt like when I was using Tinder, I literally would pull it out and just swipe because I was bored, you know? And even going through the motions of like getting to know someone, it wasn't necessarily anything that I felt like was panning out in a positive direction. Right. And so I feel like you said, like Maria's saying, like dating is exhausting. Like you really just want to it makes you just want to, you kind of want to just skip ahead, you know?
Totally.
Like, let's just get to date 3 and figure out,
right,
are we going to say yes or no at this point, you
right.
know? And then at some point you start getting exhausted thinking about the timeline.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like maybe it freaks people out because it's like, at this point in my life where I am, if you're not dating to eventually get married, then what's the point?
Absolutely.
And I don't think that, I don't know if the majority of people, like-minded people like you and I, a lot of my friends, actually, none of my friends are single. Maybe like 3. But I think that we're all generally looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
And I just am not encountering that a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it's in today's society, especially with all the dating apps and all that. I feel like girls or women are almost taught, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I feel like women are taught to not look too eager for that, what you're talking about. And I feel like that's to everyone's detriment, because I don't think that there's anything wrong with looking for someone to marry. You know, and that's the principle of courtship. You know, like the idea back in the day that we were all looking for someone to marry, to spend the rest of our lives with. And now we've come to this place where people are literally convinced that the dating life is it is way more fun. You're out there, you're meeting people, you're really in dealing. And I kind of feel like, and Maria might not appreciate this, but I sometimes feel like that this is a myth perpetuated by married people who are married and are like almost vicariously living through.
Yes, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, let me hear your dating stories. I'm like, get your popcorn. I'm like
Yeah.
an animal in a zoo. It's
Yeah,
like, no.
Yeah. And
Hold
it's
on. Sorry, go ahead.
oh.
No, I was going to lean forward to look at the computer.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know you were still talking. Someone's saying, pick 5 things you want in a guy and eliminate 2. Use those 3 as the guide. I don't want to eliminate any of mine.
Mel, I don't know about that. But yeah, I think in general, Maria, your friends aren't single now. They will be single.
Oh, is that my some transference there?
Yeah, what is going on there?
I like that though.
But yeah, so I think it's a matter of like it's exhausting. So I think I could definitely see where you're coming from with that angle. One thing you wanted to cover that we touched on a little bit, but we didn't really delve into was, and actually 2 things. The first is chivalry.
Right.
So, well, let me just ask you: do you think chivalry is dead? And let me just back up. What is chivalry to you?
Chivalry is like being a really respectable, decent man and like sweeping someone off their feet and treating them like a lady. Yeah, I don't really know how else to put it.
What does sweeping them off their feet entail?
Kind of courting them, wooing them, that whole process that we've kind of talked about. Traditional. That's what I would think of, yeah. Okay,
so do you think chivalry is still around?
I've never experienced it, and I hate, and I don't mean to be like wah wah, but well, that's kind of how I feel.
The art movie,
right? I've never really experienced it, like, but I know that it exists because I see it in other couples, and it like totally warms my heart. Like I know I have a few friends that are like in relationships, and I just like I love that they're being treated that way. And friends say to me all the time, like, you deserve that, you'll get that someday, and I'm like, okay. Great.
Do you think, have you ever ruled out a guy because, or we'll say, what is the closest you've been to a guy being chivalrous towards you? Like no one's holding doors?
Oh yeah, but like a 14-year-old boy could do that.
That's true. So you think
I encounter a lot of chivalrous men, but not in terms of like, I mean, that guy that recently went ghost on me, actually that's what I liked about him. The guy I went on a few dates with, he was really chivalrous. Like holding the door open for me, complimenting me, like pulling out my chair.
Except he went ghost.
Right.
As Michael Jefferson said, ghost.
Right.
Okay. So speaking of being chivalrous and wooing, so what are the right circumstances to actually win a girl? Because we were sitting there and we were talking about it last week, and I don't think we ever came to a conclusion on when are the right circumstances for you for it to be acceptable for you to enact a plan to woo a girl, to win a girl's heart.
I think that the biggest thing is that you have to get some sort of reciprocal vibe that the person is interested in you too.
Oh, we're getting some good feedback.
Okay.
We're gonna touch this. I see some good comments on here.
Let's get it.
Let's see. Cynthia says it's not wrong to look for someone to marry. It's not wrong to look for someone to marry. The mistake is to think that it's going to look like you think it would. I'm talking about the situation, not the person.
Right.
Yeah, marriage in general.
I agree with that. And I don't really have a concept of what... Because I think that marriage... You hear about divorces all the time, and especially in my line of work, I'm a therapist. It's like, I hear the most horrible... Hear them, as in I'm in the home and I hear them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, my concept of marriage is very different. Like, my mom and my stepfather, they have like a beautiful marriage, and I love it so much, but I'm also a product of divorce. So it's like, I've seen the whole spectrum. It's like, I don't have a concept of marriage in general, but I know what I look for in a partner, and I know what I want in my future. And I don't really have deal breakers related to that. Like, I think a lot of people have deal breakers, and I've pretty much gotten rid of those. Like, I know what I want, and I don't think it's outrageous.
What were your deal breakers before?
Honestly, I don't even remember. Okay, you can't have kids, or you can't have been married before. I can't be picky. Like, just because someone's marriage didn't work out doesn't mean they're not future husband material or not material for me. I mean, people make mistakes in relationships and in life, and I'm not going to crucify someone or cancel someone out because of that. I love kids. A deal breaker to me might be if they don't want to have more kids.
Okay.
Because I want, like, 18.
That's a lot of kids.
Just kidding. Not. But other than that, I feel like I just want someone, like, kind, considerate, self-sufficient.
Are politics or religion deal breakers for you?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Religion, not really. Because I'm really into, like, learning about religions, and, like, I feel like that's a little more... I can converse about that more than I can politics. I just don't do it.
Gotcha. Politics has become a deal breaker for me. But understanding that, I'm pretty sure that anyone that didn't have politics similar to mine would not be interested in me whatsoever.
But if you... I see what you're saying, but I am more... The deal breakers to me are more of, like, the issues as opposed to the politics. Like,
oh, gotcha.
Right.
So not just a Republican.
Correct,
but, like,
correct.
Issues, yeah.
It's like if someone's like, I hate gays, I'd be like, I hate you. Like, what even is that? Like, if you have to question, like, human rights, I don't want to sit in the same room as you.
Understood.
So stuff like that, those are deal breakers.
I think my biggest thing is, especially in interracial dating, when it comes to dating girls who are not black, talking to them with the understanding that they're raising black children, so making sure that they've coped with that fact. That's
a really good point. And growing up in a biracial home also, it's very similar.
Yeah. You got to be like, all right, there's going to be people that say biracial, then other people are going to be like, that black girl over there.
Right.
And that comes with all of the baggage that being black comes with.
Right.
Let's see. Johnny asked, do dating sites take away from an organic experience? I think the obvious answer is yes.
Yeah, and Johnny, I talked about this like a couple weeks ago, is the concept of like, that's kind of just the most convenient way to do things right now, or maybe the quickest way to meet someone. But gosh, I wholeheartedly would love to meet someone just organically, like reaching for a bag of lettuce or just, walking by someone on the street.
You could have dudes standing in the grocery store be like, oh, there she is.
Come at me.
Yeah, let's get this lettuce. Okay. I think that's all of our comments.
What did Hazel say? Because she said something about chivalry not being dead. Hazel, I do want to say that you and Relly were one of the couples I was thinking of, because I am loving, like, the pictures and the updates and the stuff you tell me, and, like, he's a class act, and you're totally 100%. You guys are worthy of each other. I love your relationship.
Now, I will say I do take issue with one thing that Hazel said, which is real men. And I always have an issue with people of the opposite sex defining the other sex and what they should be. And I feel like there's definitely a standard that we all have in our heads as to what the ideal person would be for us, what the ideal woman would be for me, what the ideal man would be for you. But I think when people start throwing around phrases like, where are all the real men and all that stuff, it's like, now you're kind of applying your standard to everyone, and that's not always. I don't think
because it's different for everybody.
Exactly, that might be a little problematic.
So she's just referring to her category of real men,
which we might agree on. But I definitely think that the internet generation in general, like she said, has killed the idea of actually having to work for a woman or a man and do what actually is necessary in order to have a successful relationship.
Right.
Let's see. Politics, religion. Yeah, that's it. Was there anything else?
Yeah, so I follow this
Oh, I know what this one is. We talked about this one. Yeah, go ahead.
So I follow this life coach and I don't actually know her, but we're Facebook friends. And she had a status today that said, if he wants you, you'll know. And I immediately liked it, and I commented, and I was like, truth. And then I was like, I'm going to write that down to talk about tonight.
What did I...
Because...
Yeah.
You tell me, get this started.
I don't know, I think sometimes like that is like kind of like fried zucchini. And when I say that, I mean like, whenever I use that phrase, I'm always talking about something that inherently is wholesome, but when you deep fry it, it takes away most of the nutrients that are involved. So you can tell yourself you're eating zucchini, but you're really just eating a tub of lard. Or
fried zucchini is so good.
Of course it is. But that being said, I feel like that's something where she just stated by itself, like alone, out of context, is something that you do click like on, that you like. But I don't think it stands alone as its own phrase. I definitely think that a guy will make an effort to show a woman that he cares and that he likes her and all that stuff. But I think this is also one of those kind of like semi-problematic phrases where they're just like, girl, if he wants you, you'll know. You know what I mean?
But let's say you as the guy, if you like a girl, will she know?
I don't feel like I've ever had an issue of liking a girl and her not knowing.
So
me personally.
So you can, to you, that statement would be true.
To me, that statement would be true, but I don't know that. I just don't like. It's one of those things where I feel like maybe I just don't like bite-sized wisdom.
Oh my gosh, I do.
That's what it is.
I am like a walking quote book.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those things they put on an Instagram quote that gets like 30 million likes, and then someone repeats it at the dinner table next week, and they don't really have any experience with the actual phrase. Right. And I'm just saying, when a guy has ever liked you, have you known?
Yes, but I question. I find myself questioning that. I find myself questioning that a lot. I find myself questioning, does this person really like me? And if I have to question it as much as I do, then they obviously don't. Okay. But that being said, I get stuck in my thoughts a lot. I ruminate a lot. I can just generally be anxious. So I don't know if that's a me thing. Do they like me? Do they like me?
Do you think that you could ask them?
But when can you do that without seeing a thirsty creep?
I just don't think that thirst is ever a thing. And this is something that me and Michael Jefferson kind of talked about last week. I just don't. I'm just a person that never.
Hi, Brittany. She just said hi.
Oh, hey, Brittany. I just don't think that I'm a person that ever subscribes to the theory of thirst, especially at 32. Because at 32, I'm like, I like you and I want to talk to you. So if I want to talk to you and I like you, then it's cool. And the girl with the right temperament that reciprocates that, is never. It's
all about reciprocity.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I feel like the idea of if you ever feel like you're in a gray area and he's still taking you out on dates, you guys are still hanging out, then you need to ask. Be like, hey, you act funny sometimes. I mean, is this cool? What's going on? Right. I mean, he can lie to you, but I feel like even in that conversation, you can discern the truth.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what's very important.
Okay, we're getting a lot of stuff. Let's scroll down. Amanda said a couple of things right there. Oh, wait. Hazel asked something. True or false, Ron? Aren't guys black and white? Q movie. He's just not that into you. That's... One moment.
Go ahead.
Hazel, yes. That's the same. He's just not that into you. The opposite is, if he wants you, you'll know. It's the same thing. That little bite-sized thing, but there's truth in that.
So, the whole thing of guys being black and white, for the most part, yes. But this internet generation of guys, or these guys that are on Tinder and all that, they have way too many options. and they hold on to things that they have no business holding on to. They hold on to relationships that they have no business holding on to. They play it hot and cold. They play with feelings. They do all these things. So I think once upon a time that it was black and white. Does a guy like you? But I think in today's generation, when there's so much choice out there, it's really not as easy to tell for all guys. Not for every guy, but I'm saying like there's guys out there that definitely are black and white. But I think once again we get into trouble when we try to define a person. We try to take a universal standard and apply. Take an individual standard and apply it to a
universally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's when we have a type of issue.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah. Where's the first? Scroll down a little bit. I want to see the first thing Amanda said. Is that it?
Yep. Yes, Johnny, you're right. Chivalry is normally instilled through the father.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda says, I agree, and I think it goes both ways. People prioritize seeing you and wanting to be around you. The actions speak louder than any of the back and forth games.
Yeah.
Yes. And by going both ways, I mean with both men and women. Yes. Accord. We guys cannot be too thirsty, but we cannot be too standoffish. I just hope it'll be awkward but fun. In terms of what, Accord? Let's see. Maria says, ask. Cheryl says, finally watching live. Cynthia says, you even have to define like. There's physical attraction. There's actual interest. And someone's feeling so complicated. You know what, though? I feel like most of the people even talking on here, there's a lot of...
Oh, my gosh. I love bacon.
Thanks, Johnny. I feel like there's a lot of people on here, in general, that are straight shooters. And...
yeah, that's true.
I feel like because of that, I wish people would just be straight shooters. Like, I want to know if you like me. I want to know if you don't like me. I want to know if you don't like me because you think I'm ugly or because you think I'm fat or because you think I'm stupid. Like, I want to know why so that I can have that information moving forward.
I'll kill them.
Well, for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's important. I think if we lived in a society with more straight shooters, all of this wouldn't be so difficult.
Yeah, I agree. However, I think that the way that I am perceived by others is not the way that I actually am sometimes. Like, especially when it comes to a lot of things, but when it comes to dating, it's like I can say that, yeah, I'm a forthcoming person, but I think that when I'm in the moment and I'm nervous, it's like I'll beat around the bush and then disappear when I feel some type of way. You're
ghosting at this point.
Correct.
Okay.
So my friend, Casey and I, like, she's much better about it now, but like years ago when we first met and we were friends, like feelings kind of like made her feel uncomfortable. Like she would just be uncomfortable talking about them. Like when things got too intense, she'd be like, oh gosh, I feel some type of way. And I use that a lot when I can't really define exactly how I'm feeling. I just know that I feel some type of way and I don't like the way it's making me feel.
Understood.
So when I'm like in I have to like check in with myself. If I'm dating or if I'm talking to someone and I don't like the vibe, I have to check in about like, am I feeling some type of way?
Cheryl says, I heard that young people don't talk on the phone anymore. Is that a thing? Yes, it's a thing. I think that I would much rather look at a person and talk to them in the eye.
First of all, thank you for calling us young.
I mean, we're relatively young, I think. But yeah, I think that's 100%. I think I've talked to you on the phone twice. Ever.
But we see each other a lot.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that probably... But that's my point.
Right.
So if you have an established relationship with someone in which you are seeing them regularly, you're probably not going to talk on the phone as much.
Right.
Me in general, though, I think that's why... you'd see more long distance and more maintenance of relationships breaks down a lot because people think that they can do everything via text.
Right. I agree.
Hazel, I think most people have not solidified or even thought about what not just in their relationships but the whole gamut of life. But what makes everything so difficult is when it's really simple to make a decision and be consistent. Understood?
Right.
Cheryl, I had a guy call me the other day and I can't lie, I was so startled with the phone ring.
Amanda, yes.
What was strange?
It's like, what is happening?
So I thought it was bizarre. Yeah, the phones are for more than just texting and Pokemon Go. I think a lot of people don't understand.
That's a deal breaker for me.
What?
Pokemon Go.
I play Pokemon Go.
It's a deal breaker for me.
Well, I've ruled myself out. I think that's all of our comments. Did you have anything you wanted to ask me or anything you wanted to cover?
I want to know your thoughts about me dating my apps or dating my apps. That's so sad. Me deleting my apps, and we need to talk about your app usage.
So I think deleting your apps was great and outstanding because, again, I think the mental strain that your phone can have over you with just texting and Facebook alone, when you actually put your love life on it as well, it makes it even more difficult, to put your phone down or to not see it as this tool that you're using to what end, you know what I mean? Me personally, I don't use them. I did, but I don't anymore. I just felt there was something that felt cheap, like just judging people by appearance and then just figuring it out from there. I just didn't want to do that anymore. Plus, I felt like I was running into the same type of girl over and over again, and it just seemed like, maybe there's some sort of algorithm that makes this type of me show up in this type of girl's feed over and over again. So I guess I didn't trust the algorithm or whatever, but
got it.
I'm not really into it anymore.
I hear you. It was funny because when I went to the beach this past weekend with a couple friends, and it was really nice to like not be checking my alerts.
Yeah.
And the riffraff that would have popped up.
Yeah.
It was really, I mean, again, it would have been entertaining to be like, ooh, look at Johnny Cool Cuts.
Yeah.
But like,
okay.
Not
Johnny Cool Cuts. Well, the other thing is I think it also frees you up to meet in IRL.
Totally.
Jamal came out of nowhere. Hopefully I don't sound too juvenile, but aside from the direct approach, how would you know if a person likes you? Body language? Yeah, I think that's the best way. I mean, I feel like you kind of got to read the signs, right? Oh, snap. This is lighting up. Yeah, but I think you got to read the signs. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know. How do you tell if someone likes you? If he likes you, you'll know.
Or he's just not that into you. I would know if someone liked me by them reaching out to me first. I feel like I'm a big, I don't want to say judge with that, but if someone is not like actively contacting me first, then I think that's like, I want to know that you want to talk to me. You have to ask me questions, like in person, over the phone, whatever it is. I hate when I'm going out on a date with someone and I'm carrying the conversation. Believe it or not, I know how to shut up. People need to ask me questions.
Okay.
Because I can reciprocate. But I've been on dates with someone where they literally don't ask me a question. It's like me keeping the conversation going about talking to them about a job that I don't even remember what job they had because they lost me 20 minutes before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maria asked, how are we hoping to meet people? How are you hoping to meet people?
I don't think I'm just gonna put some good energy out there and hope it comes back to me. I'm just gonna like let things happen how they happen and just let go of control a little bit and just whatever. I mean, I can take a hiatus for a month or for the summer or whatever. Like, I have other goals right now that if I don't date for 2 months, it's not gonna like set me back from like finding a husband. So I'm just not stressed about it, and it's a really nice feeling right now.
I think that if you can keep continuing, because this is my strategy now, if you can keep continuing to build the life that you want for yourself, and you keep doing the things that you want to do, and you keep filling your life with the activities and things that you want to do, eventually, out of one of those activities, someone else will be there.
Right.
And I think that's more important than trying to reach outside of like the life that you have and try to find someone else like out there in the ether. I'm not saying that you won't.
And you feel that's for you too. You're not just telling me this.
Absolutely feel this way. Because I feel like whether it be at work, whether it be at church, whether it be at the gym, wherever it be, I feel like as long as I continue to create the life for myself and giving myself opportunities, going to Poo Poo Sa Fest and being out there like at night at the museum.
Did you just call it a Poo Poo Sa?
The Poo Poo Sa Fest.
Papusa.
Yeah, Poo Poo Sa. Poo Poo Sa.
All right, just.
All right, vote. Is it Poo Poo Sa or Papusa?
Papusa.
Vote. Where's Glodiel? She needs to be here.
No. Excuse me, Hazel. Hazel just asked me if I read Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. You were supposed to lend it to me, and yes, a Papusa is correct.
I'm pretty sure it's Poo Poo Sa.
Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah. It's turning into a personal thing between you and Hazel. Way to go, Jessica. I had a
Wait,
last night with
Amanda, where did you meet this person?
How you been single, Ronnie? How's that a question, Ramel? That's not even a question. Yeah, Amanda, where did you meet this person?
Can I be your friend?
She's my coworker.
Can I be your friend?
Amanda's cool. Like, I think you guys would really get along.
Great. Let's go out.
All right.
Let's go shopping for bid lettuce.
She said at a bar.
Oh, God.
Frowny face.
Oh, at
great.
a bar.
All right, great. You guys are
Aw.
friends now. Yeah, find her on Facebook and be friends with her.
Perfect.
Don't be making friends on my show.
I'm going to make a friend and a husband on your show.
That's quite possible.
Scroll down, please.
I think you saw them all.
No, I feel like...
Oh, how long? A few years, Mel. Like at least since 2012. Yeah, so 4 years.
Jamal said something about what was your best date?
What was your best date and worst date from online dating? I think you have a better answer to this question than I do. We only have one cat. Oh, Todd, what up? I met Todd on vacation. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Todd's cool. Okay, you know what else though? Let me just tell you.
Okay.
A lot of times I feel like you can't approach women like at the gym, at church, in the grocery store.
You can or you can?
Cannot. Because most of the time it's like, yo, you don't want to approach her while she's doing grocery shopping, she's trying to get her groceries. You want to approach her at a gym, she's all sweaty. You don't want to approach her at all these places.
I always look prepared when I'm at the grocery store.
You don't want to approach her at the club, she's hanging out with her friends. You don't want to approach her at the bar, she's drinking. She don't want to talk to you. The one place you can approach a girl and talk to her at any given time is on vacation, in the pool. Literally everyone is ready to talk. Everyone. When we went to Mexico, everyone was just having conversations and having a good time. Didn't matter. Oh, hey, I'm Ronald. Hey, how's it going? So
that's where the bromance began.
That's where it
Okay, so that gives me hope because I haven't had a vacation in a really long time.
Yeah.
So that's on my to-do list.
Don't go to Mexico, Zika.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Grocery store, man, safari. Gotcha. All right. I think we got to wrap this up. This is turning into showtime at the Apollo. But again, did you have anything else you wanted to wrap up on, or any final thoughts? You have the last word on the dating series, on the dating trilogy.
Shoot. I don't really have anything. Guys, just send me some positivity. I'll send it back your way. I appreciate everyone watching and asking questions and giving input. Whole Foods.
Well, he invited you to Mexico next time.
What?
I said Todd invited you to Mexico.
Todd, I'm down. Whenever.
Great.
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 Anyway, I think that's all.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad to have you once again. And I thank everybody for watching once again. Please subscribe on YouTube. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers so I can get my own URL. So please subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to post a video not long after this. I'm going to post it on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube.
10 minutes with Jessica and Hazel.
Wait, what? What just happened? Oh, all right. So again, thank you, Todd. So again, keep watching. Next week, we will have another episode, but it won't be a part of a series. It'll be a standalone episode. I will be talking about race. For those of you that check out all my race episodes, you might want to take next week off. But 2 weeks from today, I'm starting a new series. It is a surprise. I'm very excited about it. I hope everyone tunes in. I'm not telling anybody what it is yet. Only a couple people know, but I'm very excited about my next show. So I hope that everyone tunes in 2 weeks from today. Also next week, again, I'll be talking about why I don't like slave movies.
Okay.
See?
I don't like them either. I don't want to talk about why.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have probably two different reasons why.
Wait, what do you think? Never mind. I'm not going to watch it and I'm not going to talk about it.
No, you should definitely watch it, but don't talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so anyway, so keep tuning in. Please subscribe on YouTube. Once again, this has been 10 Minutes with Ronald, the show that nobody asked for, yet somebody is watching.
Hey.
Wait, stay on camera until I turn off the
Okay.
mic. Let's see.